Day 13, and we are on our one and only full day here at Wakami Lake Provincial Park, just south of Chablo, Ontario. It is an overcast day. Part of this is the weather, part of it is from the fires that are burning in northern Ontario and Manitoba. We have come down to the day use area of the park, and it's completely deserted. There's nobody here except for us. So dogs are not allowed in this area. We were actually going to come and just picnic back from the beach, but it actually says that domestic animals are prohibited in this area. So that means no puppies having a picnic, unless they mean over this side is okay. So Wakami is not a very large park in terms of campsites. How many campsites did it say they had? 66 or so. So larger than Kapkigawan, but not as large as most of the other parks that we've been to. There are some sites available right now. The area that we're in is pretty full. We don't have a water front site, but we do have a view of the water through somebody else's campsite and a little island. So the waters of Wakami Lake are very low this year, they say.
She says 2 to 3 feet lower than normal.
2 to 3 feet lower. We did talk to somebody who said it's not as low as they've ever seen. It has been lower. We talked to some people who had rented a small motorboat, and they actually were going along, and they said all of a sudden they hit a rock out in the middle of nowhere, and they were shocked and a little concerned. Very nice couple that we met who were also touring around in the area.
It's very, very pretty here. There's like a mountain with a mountain behind, with a mountain behind, with a mountain behind, and it's very surreal. It looks like a postcard. And there aren't very many people on this lake. If there are 66 campsites, I would say there's maybe 120 people on this gigantic lake. So you feel like you have it to yourself. So that's kind of cool.
And the lake is completely within the boundaries of Wakami Provincial Park, so there are no cottages that we're aware of. Now, of course, it's not uncommon for some of these parks to have leaseholders like Algonquin does. But I'm looking around just in the shores that I can see, and I don't see any other places like cottages or lodges or anything like that. You know the area, and you have some information about that, let us know. We would love to learn more about this place. There's actually cattails right there on the beach, which is kind of cool. So let's just take a quick walk around the shore here, and we'll just show you what the day use area of Wakami looks like. There are a lot of bathrooms. Most of them have sinks, not running water. Like, there's running water in the sinks, but not in the bathrooms. They're privies, but they are extremely clean. They're very, very well maintained and taken care of. I've actually got to the sandy part of the beach. Beach area does have some rocks in it, but otherwise it's very sandy. The water is pretty chilly right now, beginning of August, and it's pretty chilly, even the shallow parts, and then it gets quite deep. If the light was better, you'd be able to see the abrupt difference between the sandy, shallower beach area and then the seaweed, and it just kind of drops off. We've seen loons while we're out here. I don't really see any right now. So I'm just going over this little rock barrier. There is the complete view of the day use area, and not a single soul other than Chitra and I are out here right now. There are bathrooms, picnic tables, a fire pit. Oh, I just saw a snake. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to get him. He was out. This snake was just sunning itself. It's a very good place for a snake because they like to hide in rocky areas, make dens there. So he just basically can disappear right into the boulders here. It was a fairly large one. It was at least an inch in diameter. I didn't see the full length of it. I'm just looking at my hair and it's like doing something crazy. Chitra calls this lake hair.
Lovely here. I mean, right now I'm a little bit cold, but it's lovely.
I think the weather is perfect. We have a discrepancy between what we both believe is nice weather.
Bog iron. Bog iron leaches out of the rocks that have iron oxide in them, and it goes into the water and it floats on the surface of many of our northern lakes. And the Vikings figured it out when they came over here and they couldn't remake their tools, and they skimmed it off the top of lakes and actually made
Off of bogs,
metal
though, isn't it?
Metal tools. Sorry?
More like off of bogs.
Yeah, but it's right here. It's all usually in marshy areas where it'll collect. And if you look at these rocks, they're rusting. See that? Because of the bog iron. The bog iron will come and wash up here and settle on these rocks, and it'll look like they're rusting. How cool is that? How cool is that? So they would just skim it off like this, and then they would melt it down. Iron oxide.
So when you see that, it's not actually pollution, it's just a natural process that's happening. And when the Vikings came over from Scandinavia and they landed on places like Baffin Island and Labrador and Newfoundland, like she said, they were accustomed to having iron tools, whether it was weapons or just tools to live with, you know, like farming and stuff like that. And they actually discovered that they could make iron using this bog iron. So that's pretty cool, right? Yeah. Now, when you're out and about, check for that kind of oily residue on the top of water in places like bogs. It really just does look like there's like silver, or in this case, iron floating on top of the water. It's pretty cool. So we just noticed that there is the group camping is actually right on the day use park or day use area here. And it's just this basic area right here. There's a large fire ring, a picnic table. They have their own bathroom.
They have their own beach over there.
They have their own little beach, and they have a bear box.
Bear bin. Pretty sturdy.
Tidy bin.
And it's screwed into the cement below.
It's the cub size because it's small. So cute. These butterflies are like everywhere.
Compton's tortoiseshell.
Compton's tortoiseshell. I'm going to see how close I can get before they fly away.
Cool, right? Mm-hmm. That's cool.
Okay, repair number 2. First we had to stop in Chablot, Ontario to have the Anderson stabilizing and sway bar hitch adjusted at a garage. And second fix is because we're at Wakami, we're off the grid, so we're using propane for our refrigerator. And it was working when we got here. In the middle of the night, it stopped working. And so we switched, thinking it was maybe the propane. It has since to turn off again with the check light. And we checked the propane tanks, and they were both relatively full. So now Chitra is inside looking for a particular thing to try to clean out the pilot light and igniter for the refrigerator. So, always lots of fun.
Thank you, Dad, for teaching me how to clean out a pilot light because I just cleaned out the pilot light in our trailer and now I have the fridge working again. So thanks, Dad.
Woohoo! We are hopefully going to be walking the Beaver Meadow Trail if Chloe lets us. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Single trail, single person trail, which I like. Nice specimen of bunchberry. Squirrel restaurant. They don't clean up after themselves. Are you ready? Can I have a bunks? Boop. I gave you a bunks. Are you Chloe Bolton? She just...